This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Yeah, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
All right, Jason Glick, what's going on?
Hey, John. It's like I know I promised everyone. It's like like a podcast about War of the Realms. It's like the big event that's been spinning out of Jason Aaron's run on Thor for the last couple of years. But then something came up, and I realized, hey, you know what? It's like I don't know. I don't have a lot of definite topics I want to talk about for the next couple of weeks. So I figured, hey, you know what? This came up, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. So I want to talk about Kieron Gillen's run on Star Wars. And if you've been listening or reading, like me and my podcast and blogs for like the last couple of years, you know that I really love Gillen. He is like one of the writers who rarely disappoints, and even when stuff doesn't click with me, it's like in the way that I would hope. It's not because it's bad. It's just because it's like he's trying something different. It's like, and it just didn't quite connect with me for whatever reason. But his run with Salvador Larroca on Darth Vader is like the crown jewel of Marvel's Star Wars line so far. And even though I want to go into depth about his Star Wars run with Larroca, as well as Andrea Broccardo and Angel Unzueta, spoiler is that that his Darth Vader run is still the crown jewel. His these 5 volumes of Star Wars that he's done are good, but they're not on the level of oh my god, this is so amazing. I recommend this to you not just because these are good Star Wars comics, but just great comics in general, as is the case with Darth Vader was. But these 5 volumes are good Star Wars comics, and offer up a lot of entertainment value if you're a fan of Gillen. It's and what he's been doing with the franchise. It's so that being said, it's I just want to kind of offer up a brief rundown of the first 4 volumes, because I've already written them up on the site, and then talk about the final volume, The Scourging of Shu Torun, in more depth, because hey, this is it's the finale. It's not just the finale of Gillen and Star Wars, for now at least, but it's also the finale of him and Marvel for now at least, because it's he's in a position right now to just do the kind of creator-owned stuff that he wants to do, and considering the success that Die and Once and Future have had at Image and Boom, it's to say that he should come back and and write something for write something for Marvel. It's just seems kind of defeatist at this point. Hey, he's in a position to do whatever he wants, and he should run with that. So, and I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing what he does, with these series. I mean, yeah, I said that Die just didn't click on the same level that it has with everyone else, but I still want to see where he's going with this. So, yeah, same with Once in the Future, because hey, he's working with Dan Mora, digging into the socio-political history of Britain with this title. And and hey, I'm all for that. So there you go. But getting back to Star Wars, though, he kind of got off to a rocky start with his first volume, The Ashes of Jedha. Now, I say Jedha, and you'll probably think hey, wasn't that the planet that got mostly nuked by the Death Star in Rogue One? Yes, that is right. This first volume basically explores kind of the aftermath of that, with Luke, Han, Leia, 3PO, and R2 just, finding their way there, to deal with the with the fallout from the Death Star's attack, and finding a world that is basically a hellscape that is slowly coming apart at the seams. And some people are trying to live there. You've got Saw Gerrera's partisans, trying to fight what they believe is the good fight against the Imperials, and the Imperials trying to dig out all the resources they can from this dying world. Said Imperials include the what the cyborg Cap Imperial Kanchar, it's like who's like like one-eyed, one-armed, and all business, and also Queen Trios from the mining world of Shutorun, who like readers with long memories will remember as from from Gillen's Vader arc, the Shutorun War. Now she's going to be key to his run because it's like she is the princess of a world who basically rather than just fight it's like the Imperial presence, she decided, okay, I'm not gonna going up against Darth Vader. That's just like a recipe for disaster. I'm just going to work with the the Imperials and like preserve Shutoran that way. So the Ashes of Jedha basically involves it's like the the Imperials and the rebels just clashing against how to either defend or mine Jedha best. And the twist being that Trios, it's like she's really not happy about being forced to work with the Imperials, and she's going to work. She wants to double cross them and work with the rebels by the end. So that's cool. And there's also some fun bits with with Han realizing his leadership potential with the with the partisans. It's like and Luke meeting up with a death cult that kind of has their own opinions about how the the destruction of Jedha is going. But it's just kind of but looking back on it, really reading it again, it's like the first volume feels kind of like a really like a loose association of of ideas kind of tied together by the fact that, hey, remember Jedha? That was from the Rogue One movie. We're going to go explore that here. So it's fine. There's definitely some setup here for for the later volumes, which is nice. And but really the thing that's really weighing it down is LaRocca's art. Now, I'm still not 100% sure who was responsible for this, whether it was him or colorist Guru FX, but he just was really leading into photorealism for the characters, especially the the characters who've been in the movies here, and it was just insanely distracting. Just you've got he does good line art, but then you've got this really textured color art. It's like filling in this line work, and it's just wow, that just doesn't work. I mean, it's like I know that that there are real world bases for these characters, it's like in that for the characters that are in this story, but it's just really distracting to see them, to see see LaRocca try to nail this photorealism, and it's just like a really big argument for why this kind of it takes a real talent, real skill to make photorealism this work, and it's just not here. It's like I said, it's really distracting, and it weighs down the entire arc. The good news is that he reins it in a bit for the second arc, which is Mutiny at Mon Cala. Basically, this is the story of how of how the planet of Mon Calamari, Admiral Akbar's homeworld, basically joined up with the rebellion. It's like during the area of the original trilogy, and and for my money, this is probably the best volume of the series. It's you've got the there's some fun bits with the rebels meeting up with the current leader of Mon Cala, and things going bad. It's then having to book it, and then then Leia has to turn to her new friend Queen Trios in order to get the kind of intelligence they need in order to try and bust the Mon Calamari king out of the Imperial jail that he's been in for the last couple decades. So how are they going to do that? Well, it's going to involve a shapeshifter. It's a court. It's a like a presentation of it's like a Mon Calamari culture. It's like a jailbreak on a aquatic prison planet. It's like, oh, and maybe like an Imperial's gonna have to dry her hands on Chewbacca in order to make things work. There's lots of really fun bits strewn throughout, like strewn throughout this like this story, with like not the least of which is like Han like getting a tip from the Imperial who like dried her hands on Chewbacca. Oh wow! It's like no, but it's cool because he agrees to split it with Chewie once everything's over. But it's just like it's a really it's like well done heist story that adds like lots of interesting complications. It's like as it goes along. It's like and it's just like so much fun to just like to observe like like things both the plan going well and then coming apart. It's like like towards the end. It's like it. I mean, it's like I said, it's just really it feels really well constructed, and it's like and in the end, like even after things like go well, we get the it's like the whoops. It's like things aren't thing like it's part of a longer game the Imperials are planning than anything else, but it works because it's like it's leading into the next arc, which is called Hope Dies. Now, if you're thinking like, yeah, sounds like kind of like a downer arc, well, you'd be kind of right, because one of the things that Gillen stated when he was doing his doing this arc for Star Wars that he wanted to basically explain like just how the rebels went from almost like the success at the end of episode 4 to being on the run and entrenched in the ice planet of Hoth. It's like the beginning of episode 5. Okay, now the problem with that is, I mean, not saying you couldn't get a story about it, but the problem with that is that it's like the explanation for that is kind of in the title crawl to The Empire Strikes Back. Just the idea that the Empire just hounded the rebellion to the point where they just had to take up refuge on this like ice ball in the middle of nowhere. It's like that's a pretty good explanation for it. I mean, it's not like the really good setup that Gillen was working with Darth Vader, where you wonder like, okay, yeah, the Death Star was destroyed on his watch, and because the Emperor is such a great guy, he just gives him like command of the Executor, like for like afterwards. No, it's like there needs to be an explanation of like why the Emperor like how the Emperor like was able to like believe in Darth Vader again, how Vader like clawed his way back into the Emperor's good graces. There was this big story there with Gillen's run, which the thinking of this like the story of how the rebellion that got to the point they were between episodes 4 and 5, that kind of reaches its climax in Hope Dies, which is the idea that they've been able to to accrue their own fleet by winning them on Calamari over to their side, and also building more ships thanks to the influx of resources from their secret alliance with Shu Torun. Problem is that, well, it's like Trios, wasn't as friendly as she claimed. She's actually been working with Darth Vader this entire time, and it's like and the whole reason she was working with them was basically to gather the rebellion. It's like in one place, have access to their like systems, so that the Empire could lock them down, and that Vader could show up and then just like smack them down to the point where they would need to they would need to retreat like after he was done. After he was done brutalizing them, assuming there was anything left of the rebellion to retreat with. Hope Dies offers a lot of like fun stuff over the it's like over its run. I mean, seeing like Leia realize that oh my God, I've been betrayed. I'm gonna go and bust onto Trios' ship and it's like get some answers. It's like that's great. Seeing it's like seeing Luke like like find out that okay, you can open the lockdown bay doors by just simply flying at them and say it's like okay, if I make this, it's going to be because of the Force. If I die, it's going to be because of 3PO because he suggested this. It's like or at the it's like the great sequence midway when it's like when Darth Vader, it's like, finally gets their bead on, hey, hey, I recognize that ship that shot me down at the end of episode 4. I'm gonna get some payback right now. So yeah, it's like, so seeing Vader go toe to toe with the Millennium Falcon, it's like it's like that's good stuff. I mean, and the overall arc like is well constructed. It's like just with the it's like with the rebels realizing that they're going to have to break into the executor and get the and unlock the codes that will like break the lockdown. It's like there's it's a good story like overall, but there's just this nagging feeling that that Gillen was kind of like this is like an unnecessary scaffolding that he's been nailing on to like the overall story. It's like, I mean, like did we need the story like, oh, so like, yeah, between episodes 4 and 5, like the rebellion created this like big fleet that was eventually locked down and destroyed by the Empire, before they had to flee to Hoth. It's like it just doesn't feel like like the kind of thing that sort of was necessary, like in order to bridge the gap between the films. So I mean, like I said, it's entertaining, and the art from LaRocca is good. It's like I said, he's just, I mean, there's some odd faces here and there, but but the photorealism that I was like complaining about, it's like it gets progressively better and less obtrusive, like as these volumes go on. But it's also like his last contribution to Gillen's run, because for the following 2 volumes, The Escape and The Scourging of Shu-Torun, well, it's like Andrea Broccardo and mainly Angel Unzueta take over. Now, Broccardo, it's more like it's a more like exaggerated, like slightly caricaturous style, and he's fine, but Unzueta, he's a veteran of Star Wars from his work with Charles Soule on the Poe Dameron series, and he's generally pretty much better about managing like believable photorealistic stuff than LaRocca was. So like his work on these 2 volumes, it's like is generally a lot more appealing when he tries to go for it's like like realistic faces and all. So I like that, but The Escape is basically just kind of a nice like come down series, like after it's like the bad times of Hope dies. Well, it's like Han, Luke, Leia, R2, and 3PO. It's like have wound up like separated from the main rebel fleet, and like they're asking like Santa Stardos, Han's quasi ex-wife smuggler, to get them back to the rebellion. Problem is that they run into some imperial imperial blockades, and they're it's like they want to our heroes wind up stuck on the moon of Hubin, which is home to Clan Marcona. It's like led by their Thane, it's like Marcona. It's like, and it's like they've got a nice place where they're just kind of like, okay, well, it's like maybe you can hide out here for like the next 5 months, but like that doesn't quite sit well with Luke, who's feeling kind of antsy about this, and he wants to get back to the fight, realizing that hey, we've got to. It's like what could the Empire be doing while we're sitting on this moon? Meanwhile, Leia, she's been putting her own plans together, as far as like hey, after what Shu-Torun did to us, it's like we've got to answer that. And it's like, and The Escape is a nice transitional story. It's like, and I appreciate the fact that Clan Marcona, it's like they're not being entirely honest or clear about why. It's like like how it's like why what they're doing on this planet, and how their Thane got this planet in the first place. In fact, it's like the fact that like he tells Luke at one point, yeah, it's like the Empire offered me the Empire, or was it the the Republic? It's kind of hard to tell where one ended and when the other began. it's like they offered me this job, and they thought it was worth a planet. What exactly was the nature of this job? They never said. So yeah, I like that kind of like ambiguity right there, and I also like the fact that Gillen found room for like well I like Santa Staros's role in this story. I also appreciate the fact that another of Jason Aaron's creations from his Star Wars run show up here as well. It's like it's nice to see that like they're continuing to play with. There's like some continuity maintained with like within like like Marvel's Star Wars run and all. So this is cool. In this game, it's like it's not like thoroughly important in and of itself, but it's fun for what it is. And then we come to the final volume, The Scourging of Shu Torun, which it's like that's a name that has weight to it because when we've got the as like from what we know about the rebels, like they're all about they don't believe that they believe that the Empire's rule has been wrong and unjust, and they're trying to create a better. It's like you're trying to overthrow them in order to create a better, more equal, more fair. It's like galactic rule for everyone, and that's great. But when you're talking about an arc that's basically says it's like it involves scourging, it's like how does that figure in? Okay, so the rebels like they're the good guys, but this is going to involve a scourging of a planet. A planet whose leadership stabbed them in the back, and now we're coming for payback. We're going to send a message saying, "Hey, if you double cross the Republic, this is what you'd expect." That kind of moral ambiguity is what I was, or not moral ambiguity, moral complication is what I was expecting, because is what I was looking forward to seeing interrogated, like in this final volume. Just like how does the how do the rebels maintain their moral superiority when they're involved in like taking down an entire planet? Well, that's not really addressed here, to be honest, because it's like, well, this does maintain like Gillen's like trademark like witty sensibilities and like it's like an appreciable craft that he applies to everything he does. It really kind of feels like a kind of redo of Mutiny at Mount Cala, in the sense that it's kind of another heist story, only it's involving it's like all the supporting characters that it's like that he's created over the course of his run. There's the shapeshifter Tunga from Mutiny Mount Cala, the Partisans led by Benthic from the Ashes of Jedha. It's like Miorti, the mechanic / slicer who's worked with. It's like who worked with them in Hope Dies. It's like and at the center of things is Queen Trios, who is just going through business as usual at Shu Torun, believing that she's managed to stave off the destruction or imperial rule of her planet through her compliance. And problem is that it's like it just that there's really no like attempt to like just like ask whether or not like the rebellion is like it's kind of like wrong in this kind of like thing. It's just I mean, Leia expertly frames this as like, hey, okay, maybe this is a little like vindictive, but like Shu Torun is one of the Empire's big production planets, and we can take them out with a minimum of fuss. It's like and minimum of loss of life as well. And you think, okay, this is perfect. This is gonna be fine. It's like hey, sure, like it's gonna be like sure it's gonna be a scourging, but it's not really gonna be like a major scourging. Just like there's gonna be minor scourging, not a lot of bad stuff. Until you realize that when you're bringing in like group of seasoned commandos like the Partisans, like people who have seen their planet be destroyed by the Empire, they realize, hey, there's a chance to actually fully destroy this planet. We should probably take it. And that's kind of how this how the storyline plays out. It's like Leia and her crew like managed to like with Han in tow managed to get things get things going, and then the only complications arrive when it's like when the partisans decide to take matters into their own hands. It's fine, but it's just kind of like it feels just like it's really playing it safe. Like it's just kind of like by the science fiction specifically Star Wars action playbook. I mean, in the sense that like there's not really like the moral complications that I was hoping to see addressed here. Never really come to fruition. Like I think that in order to make this story work, it would have like the partisans really would have had to have succeeded in their attempts to set up the utter destruction of the planet, and then the rebels would have, and then Leia and company would have had to realize, oh my God, what have we set into motion here? We're going to have to like try our best to like get everyone out of this planet before it's destroyed, and then they realize that okay, so yeah, it's like we saved as many as we could, but it's like our actions just ultimately led to the destruction of this planet, and like how many people, but even if it did like cripple the Empire's production and all, it's I don't know, it's like it's like I think one of the things that I was going over before I set him to do this is that it's like I don't believe that Kieron Gillen is capable of phoning stuff in, that he believes in. There's always going to be like bits like lots of creativity in what he does, and that's true here, especially with the bits involving the shapeshifter Tunga. It's like, and also Queen Trio says she's the one who reckons with the real moral choices about how to get back in the fight after she's locked out of control of Shu-Torun. It's like, but it's like if so, like I mean, there's still too much like interesting stuff going on here to like say that I believe that Gillen is phoning this in, but I think maybe if I did believe in that he was capable of phoning stuff in, this is probably what it would look like. So I guess for now that's good, because his that kind of thing still results in an overall well crafted, entertaining story. But I don't know. It's just a case of like hey, he's done better elsewhere, and I am also like much more looking forward to seeing him like wrap up it, like his and Danny McKelvey's signature series, The Wicked and the Divine, and also like future volumes of Die and the initial volume of Once in the Future when it's kicked off. So I gotta admit, so overall, I guess how do these this is run on Star Wars fare? I do think it's like a thorough cut above your like what you would expect from a licensed property. Since like there is a overall overarching story that he's working to tell here, and he tells it with style. It's like, and lots of fun here. Sure, the art may be dodgy and it bits, but overall it's a lot more solid, and I do think it's generally better than Jason Aaron's run, because Aaron told like engaging stories on an arc by arc basis. It's like there wasn't really a lot just holding it all together. There wasn't that overarching story tying his 6 volumes into like one big epic, which is kind of like what I really look for like when someone's doing a run. So yeah, it's like, so I mean, like, hey, if you're looking for a good Star Wars story, then yeah, it's like I think Gillen's run it's like will fit the bill and satisfy you. But I guess if you're kind of like a hardcore like Gillen fan that like I am, or like I think myself to be, then you look at Star Wars and think, it's not bad. but he's done better elsewhere. So there you go.
That report card is what?
Well, I guess you could say it's like a B minus B.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like
fair is the grade here, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, these aren't bad comics. I mean, like it's one by terms of licensed stuff over the years. Like this is really quite good. But it's like I mean, Gillen's done better elsewhere, like both in the creator-owned and in work for hire stuff for Marvel specifically.
Yeah. All right, you know what you're going to be talking about next time.
All right, next time is definitely going to be about War of the Realms because, like, I did get the main, it's like the main volume. It's like prior to this podcast, but then when I got Scourging issue Torrent, I figured, yeah, I should probably just go ahead and like do this right now. But hey, so hopefully, so maybe I'll even have some maybe a tie-in volume or two to talk about with it's like with the War of the Realms, like next time we talk about this. So there you go.
All right, we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters.